Hi guys, Casper MMA here. Today we're back with another UFC predictions video on the channel. Today giving my predictions for UFC 318 Holloway versus Poirier. So the last UFC card we had was the Derek Lewis versus Teixeira fight night. That was actually a really good card, unexpected because there wasn't that too many big names on the whole card overall, but lots of finishes. I think there's like more finishes than decisions that were in the fight night, so that was pretty good. Also, Derek Lewis won, which was a bonus. I was meant to make a prediction video, kind of forgot. And I kind of posted some picks online, which I did all right. Only got like 2 picks wrong overall, so I should have made a video, but I kind of forgot. So I'm sorry about that. But we've got a pretty stacked card this weekend, and looking forward to getting into it. But before I give you my predictions, make sure for you guys and you're around here and you enjoy this content, you go down below and hit that subscribe button. It's free and it's really appreciated. So there is 14 fights in total on this card, and we kick things off with the first prelim of Carly Judice versus Nicole Caliari. Now, women's fight to kick things off. Get them out of the way, you know, we can't be dealing with women's fights on this card. But we have Judice, he's 4-2 in total, only 26 years of age. To be fair, he's currently 1-1 in the UFC so far, and also lost a split decision on the Contender Series. But she was 3-0 coming into before she came to the UFC. Lost 2 split decisions in a row, and then won a fight by head kick KO in her last fight, which is against Dubin, which is pretty impressive. To be fair, her opponent, Nicole Caliari, on the other hand, is 8-3 in total, 28 years old, so only 2 years older. Is currently 0-1 in the UFC. She lost the first fight by split decision to the same person that Judice lost on the Contender Series, I think, by split decision. So both lost to this person, but she did win by submission on the Contender Series in round number 1. So she's not a bad fighter. She's got, to be fair, for a women's fighter, she's never won by decision, which is impressive to be fair. She's lost 2 decisions, but she's got 5 wins by KO, 3 wins by submission. So I do think she's quite a decent women's fighter to be fair. Got some pretty decent wins as well in her career. So I'm going to back Caliari, the Brazilian woman, to get this job done. And I reckon she's going to get the win by decision. And now we move the card to Bruno Ferreira versus Jackson McVey. Now, this should be a pretty easy layup for Ferreira here. This fight was meant to be, McVey was meant to be fighting on a different card. This fight's just been like made, I don't know, some they weren't meant to be fighting each other, but they've it's been rescheduled and now they're fighting each other. Pretty sure it was meant to be like Ferreira versus Alisco or something, but I'm not sure. But obviously Ferreira won his last fight, got a submission win over Petrosian, which I think was kind of expected. I expected Ferreira to win that fight, not by submission to be fair, but he got a job done. Did get choked out by Abus Magomedov, but he's pretty good. I like Bruno Ferreira, got many wins by KO, 9 in total in his career, 13-2 record in total. Jackson McVey, on the other hand, is 6-0, American man, only 26 years old as well, so he's definitely a good prospect. I mean, all of his wins he's won by finish, 3 wins by KO, 3 wins by submission. I've watched him on the LFA. He's a very fun fighter. I do think he's quite good, but this is too big of a step up. I thought he might have won his originally scheduled fight against Dumas, to be fair. Or no, was it? I don't know who. He was meant to fight somebody on the a different card, and I was going to pick him to win that fight, but he's fighting Bruno Ferreira. This is too big of a step up, and I reckon Bruno Ferreira gets the KO. And then we move up the card to Ryan Spann versus Lukas Brzeski. Brzeski, I don't know how you say his name, man. He's Polish. I can't pronounce it. But Ryan Spann, 22-11 now. His record, 33 years old. Not been on a great run, I've got to say. He's only won 1 of his last 5 fights, but that was against Ovies St. Preux, so it doesn't really count as a win. Not really sure, but he's been knocked out twice. He's been submitted as well. He's not been on a good run, to be fair. Was pretty decent at one point, but yeah, he's looking pretty washed at the minute. But he's been given a pretty easy matchup here against Lukas Brzeski, 9-6-1 in total. His record, same age, but yeah, he's just been getting KO'd as well. Last 2 fights, he's been KO'd twice in round number 1 by Eza Chukwu and Mick Parkin. I mean, if you're getting KO'd by Mick Parkin, that's pretty embarrassing, to be fair. Did beat Walter Walker, which is honestly impressive, considering Walter Walker's been on an absolute rampage at the minute, taking everyone's heels, like 3 in a row. But yeah, he's just not very good, Brzeski, and he's going to lose this one. Honestly, he probably could win, to be honest. I wouldn't put it past Spann to lose to Brzeski here, but I'm going to back Spann to get the KO. And now we move the card to Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio. Now, this fight is one for the ages, man. It's honestly, you're going to pick who's worse out of these two, which is kind of hard, I'm not going to lie. I mean, Jimmy Crute, 12-4-2 in total, 29 years old. Currently in the UFC's 4-4-2, which is such an insane record, to be fair. I mean, if you look at his last couple fights and that, he lost to Anthony Smith, lost to Jamal Hill, then he drew to Alonzo Minifield, then got choked out by Alonzo Minifield, then drew his last fight to Bellato. It's like, this guy's got such an interesting run of fights. Hasn't won in his last 5 fights, but he did KO Bukauskas, which is quite impressive. Got a submission win over Oleszczuk as well. So at one point, he was actually quite good. I mean, he's got quite a few round 1 finishes in the UFC, but since 2021, he's been shocking. I mean, he's just not looked very good at all. Maybe it's his opponent he's coming up against, but yeah, he's not been on a great run. Marcin Prachnio, on the other hand, 17-8. Polish man is 37 now, so probably close to retiring. I'd say so. Still, he's not the worst. He did lose to Bukauskas in his last fight, but that was quite a good fight. I think he knocked Bukauskas down or wobbled him at one point with a head kick. But before that, won by decision. Got choked out by Vitor Prino, beat William Knight. My favourite fighter of all time, William Knight, just a human punching bag. But obviously he's got some decent wins on his career. I mean, beat Khalil Roundtree back in 2021. And obviously he's got a lot of wins by KO in his career. I mean, he's got 11 wins in total. So honestly, this fight could go either way. I don't know what the odds are, but they should be completely even, because either one could win this one. But I reckon I'm going to back Prachnio. I'd take the underdog here just for the value of it, because Jimmy Crute could easily lose this one. Wouldn't be surprised if another draw, to be honest. But I'm going to back Prachnio to get the decision. And now we move the card to Adam Fugitt versus Islam Dulatov. Now, Adam Fugitt is 10-4, American man, 36 years old, so he is getting on a bit, to be fair. Won his last fight by split decision to Josh Quinlan last year. Did get choked out by Michael Malott before that. He's been finished a couple of times in the UFC, to be fair. Got KO'd by Michael Morales as well, but does have, he finished 2-2 in the UFC in total, yeah, so not the worst record, but he's not the best fighter in the world. Islam Dulatov, on the other hand, is 11-1, German man, only 26 years old as well, so 10 years younger. Won on the Contender Series last year by elbow in round number 1, so pretty impressive there. I mean, all of his wins have come by finish. He's got 6 wins by KO, 5 wins by submission. He's only lost 1 decision in his career, and that was to Paulo Costa in his first fight. But I mean, Paulo Costa is a pretty decent fighter, to be fair, but that was his first ever MMA fight. So since then, he's been on an absolute rampage, destroying everyone, and he's going to get another easy win here. I mean, a pretty easy layup, I think, for Dulatov, setting him up nicely in the UFC, and I reckon he gets the KO. And now we move the card to Atiba Gautier versus Robert Valentin. Now, Gautier is 7-1 in total from Cameroon, 23 years old as well. He's very young, and he's very good. I mean, he's lost once in his career. That was a split decision in 2022 in his second professional fight, but since then, he's KO'd everybody. He's like 6 fights in a row. He's just got KOs. He looks pretty good. Literally, nearly all of them round 1 as well, apart from his win on the Contender Series, which went to round 2. But KO'd Medina in his first fight in the UFC by knee in round number 1. So pretty impressive. He looks really good. On the other hand, we have Robert Valentin, the Swiss man, 10-5 in total, 30 years old. He did actually lost in the, I think it was the Ultimate Fighter final or something. Lost to Ryan Loder by KO. I mean, I was actually quite impressed with my pick there, because I remember I picked Loder to win, and he was the underdog, and then he got KO'd. Valentin got KO'd by him, which is impressive from Loder, and then got absolutely decision fucked by Torres Finney in his last fight, which I don't know how that was a split decision. The one judge was like, "No, I'm not having this." But it was pretty hard done by there, because Finney just held him against the cage for so long. But Valentin's alright. I mean, he did look good in his first 2 fights on the Ultimate Fighter. Got 2 round 1 finishes, but I just feel like this should be an easy layup for Gautier here. I mean, Gautier is just amazing. I'm going to call him different names every time I say his name, but Gautier, he's just going to get the KO here, isn't he? And now, moving at the card to Francisco Prado versus Nikolai Veretennikov. Now, Francisco Prado is 12-3 in total, only 23 years old. He's the Argentinian man. Not been doing too well recently. He lost a decision to Jake Matthews, lost to Daniel Zellhuber before that by decision, and also lost to Jamie Belaki in his first fight by decision. But has got one win in the UFC by KO in round 1 to Ottoman Azaita, which is pretty impressive to be fair. But before coming to the UFC, he was 10-0 I think, or 11-0, and pretty much all them wins coming by finish. But then he came to the UFC and kind of got a bit fraud checked by a couple of fighters. On the other hand, we have Nikolai Veretennikov. He's 12-6, 35 years old from Kazakhstan. Also, not been on the greatest run. Lost to Vanderford by KO in his last fight, and then went split decision to Danny Barlow in his other fight. But he's still a decent fighter. Obviously, hasn't won yet in the UFC, but Prado's only won once as well in the UFC. So both of these guys have been pretty dangerous outside of the UFC, like pretty much all getting KOs. So it's pretty much a toss-up, I think. But I'm going to back Veretennikov to get this job done. I feel like Prado just, I don't know, not too convinced by him. So I'm going to back Veretennikov to get the win by decision. And now we move the card to Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen. A battle of two pretty dead middleweights, to be honest. Vettori, 19-7-1 now in total, 31 years of age. Obviously coming off that decision loss to Roman Kopylov, because he had like quite a bit of time off. He lost to Jared Cannonier, then had like 2 years off, but then he lost again. I thought he might have come back better, but he didn't. He didn't look that great at all. His last win was against Roman Kopylov back in 2023 as well. So this guy just goes to decision. I mean, he's never been finished in his life. He's got a great chin. There's Vettori, gotta love it. Brendan Allen, on the other hand, 24-7, 29 years old. Not been on a great run either. Lost to Anthony Hernandez in his last fight, lost to Imavov, and then had that dodgy split decision to Chris Curtis. I can't remember if you even watched that, but I remember a lot of people talking about it, saying like I was like Chris Curtis should have won that and stuff like that, but no idea. He was on a pretty good run, being like Chris Curtis, Paul Craig, Bruno Silva, Muniz. Like he won quite a lot of fights in a row, but like I don't know, both of these guys aren't great. I can honestly see either of them win decision. I could honestly, you should flip a coin for who's going to win this. I can't really tell, but I'm just going to back Vettori, man. Like why not? Might as well take the underdog odds there. I think, he's going to get the job done. So Vettori gets the decision. And now, moving at the card to Kyler Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira. Now, Vinicius Oliveira, I love this man. He's really good. 22-3 in total now. 29 years old. He's been on a great run since he came to the UFC. Beat Bernardo Sapage by that incredible KO of the year contender. Then beat Ricky Simone and Nurmagomedov in his last fight. I'm pretty sure he's been like the underdog for all these fights as well. He's proven everyone wrong. I mean, one of my best picks, I picked him to beat Ricky Simone, which he was quite a big underdog for that, and he got the job done. So he's really good. He's just proven he's pretty decent at bantamweight, and he's coming up against Kyler Phillips here, 12-3 in total, 30 years old. Is also a decent fighter. Was on a good run, but then he came up against Rob Font, which was a bit of a step up for him, and because he just beat Pedro Munoz, and then came in and Rob Font, who showed him up and got the win by decision. So I reckon it's going to be the same case here. Vinicius Oliveira is going to be too good for Kyler Phillips here, and I reckon Oliveira gets the decision. And now we move the card to the main card, I think now. Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. Now, Michael Johnson, he's getting on a bit. He's almost 40. He's 39 years old. Record of 23-19. So he's been around the game for a long time now. 15-15 in total in the UFC. But he's on a pretty good run at the minute. I mean, he's beat Darius Flowers by unanimous decision. Then beat Izatar by KO in his last fight. So not too bad. Did get KO'd by Diego Ferreira not too long ago though. So he's had a lot of fights. He's actually fought everybody. And he's getting on a bit. Whereas Zellhuber, 15-2, 26 years old, very contrasting record and stuff. Did lose his last fight by split decision to Ribovic, which was an insane fight, to be fair. I mean, pretty sure I don't know how Zellhuber didn't get KO'd in that fight. He just was dodging the punches up against the fence. It's a great fight. That I think it was on the UFC Mexico card in the Sphere or something. But yeah, enjoyed that fight. He's looked pretty good in the UFC. Did lose to Trey Ogden by decision. But I reckon this should be an easy matchup for him. I think Michael Johnson, it's time to hang up the gloves, mate. So I reckon Zellhuber gets the KO. And now we move the card to Dan Ige versus Patrício Pitbull. Now, Dan Ige, 19-9 in total, 33 years of age. Is coming off a win against Sean Woodson, which I didn't expect. I thought Sean Woodson would win because he's been looking really good recently, and the height difference and the reach and stuff wouldn't play a part. It was a really early stoppage, like probably one of the worst I've seen in recent time. I don't know why the ref stopped the fight, but I think he was winning the fight, to be fair, Ige anyways, but he did get the KO in round number 3, which is impressive, to be fair. But yeah, it was an awful stoppage. But before that, he did lose to Lerone Murphy and Diego Lopez, but the Diego Lopez one doesn't really count because he stepped in on fucking like 7 hours notice or something stupid. But Dan Ige is a decent fighter. Basically lost to like the top guys in the division. He's like a gatekeeper really at this point in his career. Patrício Pitbull, on the other hand, it's 36-8 in total, 38 years old, so he's getting on quite a while. I don't know why he's in the UFC when he's this old, to be fair, like they waited so long to get him. But lost to Yair Rodriguez in his last fight. Obviously was decent at Bellator and that, but did lose a couple times. So I reckon this one's going to decision again, like Pitbull's first fight in the UFC, and I reckon Dan Ige is too good for him. I reckon Ige gets the decision. And now, moving at the card, we have Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod. Now, Kevin Holland, 28-13 in total, 32 years old, is coming on a 2-fight win streak. This guy's so active, man. How's he already fought 3 times in 2025? And what are we in? July already? This guy's way too active. He obviously lost to Ritter but we know how good he is now. But then he beat Gunnar Nelson, which I was quite surprised with. I thought Gunnar Nelson might actually take that one, but he got the decision win. Then came a sub Luque, which is impressive because I didn't think he'd win that one either. But honestly, it's so hit or miss with Kevin Holland if he wins it off. But this should be an easy fight for him because D-Rod is 38 years old now, 19-5 in total. I was impressed with his last fight, KO'd Ponzinibbio in round number 3, which is a pretty decent win. To be fair, it was a good KO as well. Got a split decision over Alex Morono as well, but let's be real, he's not beating Kevin Holland. There is a world where he could, but Kevin Holland should easily get this win here, and I reckon he gets the submission. And now we move to the co-main event, Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov, and Costa is at 14-4 now, 34 years of age. Not looked good in his last 2 fights. Lost to Robert Whittaker by decision, and then lost to Sean Strickland by split decision, which honestly one of the worst split decisions I've ever seen. I don't know how, because I'm pretty sure Sean Strickland won every round of that fight, but somehow went to a split decision, and then Strickland got the win. But yeah, his last win, his only win in his last 5 fights was against Luke Rockhold. Lost to Vittori, lost to Adesanya. Like he's not very good anymore, Costa. Like it's time to hang it up, mate. I think he's washed. Roman Kopylov, on the other hand, 14-3 in total, 34 years of age. Is pretty good. I mean, obviously got many wins by KO in his career. Did get kind of fraud checked by Anthony Hernandez. Got submitted by him. But I mean, it wasn't really a fraud check because I mean he's never been that good. But he was on a really good run of getting loads of KOs, and then got subbed by Hernandez. But since then, bounced back with a split decision win over Cesar Almeida, and then got a win over Chris Curtis by head kick in round number 3. So that was in like the last second of the fight or something. But I think he's still pretty good. He should be good enough to beat Costa in this fight, and I reckon Kopylov takes the decision. And now we move to the fight that we all care about, Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. Now, it's actually the first time, it's like a pay-per-view with like not even a belt on the line, because are we really classing the BMF belt as an actual belt, because they've kind of just made up this thing. But obviously Holloway in the back into lightweight now, obviously knocked out Justin Gaethje when he came up here last time, then went down, got killed by Poirier. Now he's back up here again. He's how old is Holloway now? He's 33, but he's still got it in him. I don't know what he's going to do if he beats Poirier here, and then he's in the title thing for like fighting. He's in the title picture to fight Poirier again, which is kind of funny when he gets knocked out again. But Dustin Poirier, his retirement fight, pretty decent fight to make. I was even thinking like this or like the Gaethje fight would have been cool for like another trilogy to end, but 30-9 in total. He's 36, so yeah, he's getting on a bit. Time to retire. Obviously had that pretty good fight with Islam Makhachev. That was a good fight. He put up a really good performance and then obviously got submitted in the last round, which is quite sad, but he was probably going to lose anyways. Honestly, I could see either one getting a win here, but I feel like Max Holloway should win this. I feel like he'll just be better, especially at lightweight. I think Max Holloway was good. He looked really good against Gaethje, so I reckon this is the weight for Max Holloway at the minute, and I feel like I'm hoping for a really fun fight, really good 5 rounds, and Max Holloway takes the decision. So there are my picks for UFC 318. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with any of my picks. And that's all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.